Hello there! Well, chest ride and enchants is a difficult combination. So, when you are going to do a chest ride, which enchants are you gonna select? You probably see a lot of different combinations out there, and it seems like different combination is working for different people. So, what should you select for your chest ride to try to do as good as possible? That is what I'm gonna try to explain in this video, and I'm gonna try to explain what each and every one of these enchants do and why you should choose some of them, depending on what you actually have. So the first thing I want to do, I want to go over to the other area behind here, because there's two different things that's gonna count. Well, there is kind of two set of damage that we're gonna talk about in chest rides. One thing is of course the pet damage that the pets do, but also we're gonna talk about the damage you by your tapping can do. So that's two different things, and if you mix up these enchants and don't see the connection between this, you can now end up making a setup for yourself that doesn't work really well to your needed setup. Because this depends really on how strong pets you actually have, and also how strong your own tapping damage is. So this is something you only yourself can find out what is the best, because you have to test yourself to what is the best one. So let's go into this and start talking about this. You can see I have just set up many of the different enchants that you typically see in this one. One of them is the chest breaker, which is a very good one. It was really high cost. I had to buy one for like 250 million. Now the price has gone down, and maybe there is a reason for that. But you see, some of the best players is using 3 of them, and some players doesn't only use 1. But this is almost a must to have this one if you have the diamonds for it. But don't be afraid, you can do it without it, but this one is quite important. I'm gonna come back to why later on. Another that is really crucial is critical. Yeah, critical is important for the most enchant setup in the game, but also gonna come back in detail for why critical is so important. Stronger pets is also quite important and will be there for most people, even the strongest and the weakest players. But it is why it is so important, and when you're gonna have it and how many you're gonna select of it, we're gonna come back to. And also tap power is quite important. Why is this so important, and when should we have it, and so on. Two other books that many people is talking about is Super Lightning and so on, and also Fireworks. So all of these books here is quite typical for these setups here. I have seen other books as well, but the other books doesn't come into the category that I think is good enough for this. But one of those I mentioned name for now, I don't think is really good actually. And I'm gonna go very soon now and show you one of them. But first I'm gonna tell them about the difference of these books here. Because remember, we was talking about that there are some that is doing good for pet damage and some are doing good for tap damage. So begin with the first one. Chest breaker. Increase the damage you deal to chest by 200%. Yes, look to that text there. It says you. Yes, it's your tap damage that's become higher, not your pet damage. So your tap damage is becoming higher. So this is a book that is making your tap damage higher and not your pet damage higher. Another book that is making your damage higher is also the Fireworks. Sparkling shots, fireworks to explode breakable, you tap. Yes, you tap. So this is also only by tapping, and also is giving damage for tapping and not for pets. So none of these two is making your pet's team any stronger. Also this Super Lightning, also tapping has a chance to send bolts of supercharged lightning and nearby breakable. Again, tapping. So this is only the damage that you do by tapping, either by auto tap out here, or by your own tapping by your auto clicker, or your manually tapping in there, or both of them. And then the third one, the fourth one that is also doing for tapping is tap power. Increase your tap power by 700%. This is a level 8 book, so you can of course use this in level 7 and level 6, depending on which level you have. But these 4 books here is to increase your tap damage. So that means that if I now has a setup that is taking partly increasing my tap damage and also partly increasing my pet damage. So then we are coming to the 2 other books. Critical is 23% chance your pet inflict a critical hit. Yes, read that. Your pet. So this does not count for your tap damage. So this is only counting for the damage that your pets is doing. So your pets has a chance of doing critical and you do not have a chance of doing a critical. So this is increasing the pet damage and not the tap damage. This stronger pets as well increase the strength of your pets by 120%. Again, this is for your pet damage and not your tap damage. Tap and pet is very similar words, but it is very different. So this combination that I have up here, I would say that one I'm showing you now is not going to be the end combination. So maybe someone see the thumbnail and I select this one here, or think this is not a good setup. Yes, it's not the best in idle setup. There are better setups than this, but it will change from person to person. But we will come to a really good setup after this. So basically, I have really strong pets. I have one titanium here and a bunch of rainbow and shiny huges. So in addition to that, I have a really strong pets here, and I have really strong pets. So it can maybe be your pet's damage is depending on the pets that you have. Okay. Your tap damage is depending on how much power you have in your team in total. So this is going to be changed very different from player to player. So basically, I am having here 2 criticals. Let me start. I have 2 strong pets books here. These are making my pets much stronger. You can probably have 3, 4, 5 and 6 books for that, but just remember, normally when you pass 3 books you will close to have no effect. But also the 3rd book is not giving as much effect as the 2 first book. That is why I only have 2 of the 1 book here in this case here. So I only have 2 of these, so these will make my really strong pets even stronger. And then by adding critical hits to here, it's going to make them tremendously more strong. For that, I'm also going to come back later on when is pet damage really important and when is tap damage really important as well. I'm going to come back to that as well, because remember, the rooms is consisting of from 1 to 9 chests, and some of these things here is better for some rooms and worse for other rooms. Okay, so that is for increasing my pet here. So to increase my tapping, I have first 2 books here that is increasing my tap damage by tremendously, and this is really much important. I also have really strong like total power, so I have also quite high tap damage for that. So I'm increasing this by tap power here, and then that is further increased by the chest breaker that makes it 2 times stronger like this. And then additional, I can have I add this fireworks that is, it looks at least to be quite good, right? Spreading out the damage, sounds good. And also super lightning, that's making a big explosion to those things around. Also looks quite good. But the thing is, both these books here looks quite good, but one of them is actually very good. The reason why I want to have one of these books in my team is because of those rooms with 9 and 9, between 5 and 9 chests. Because this room is difficult, because you have to take 1 by 1 by 1 per chest. So by having something that can spread out your damage in between, you will get extra help doing damage on the collateral damage around, which is much better than doing single damage. So basically, one of these 2 books here will be really good on that. There's a very simple test we can do on this. Let me just stand in the middle of here let's take on auto tapper here. I'm gonna take my mouse out here, and you can see. There you see that big explosion that comes somewhere here and there. That's the one that makes the explosion. Then you see there is coming some fireworks sometimes. You see, we can see the fireworks sometimes it's coming. There we hear it, and the fireworks is doing a little bit damage here and there. But the one that is really doing damage, there you saw the fireworks. It didn't do much damage. But that suddenly explosion there, you see, there we got the sudden explosion. That's a lot of damage. Fireworks there did a little bit. There you see, the fireworks doesn't do that much damage. You clearly see that it's the sudden explosion, that lightning one, that does the most. You see, a lot of the fireworks seems not to even break anything. So basically what I have found at the conclusion from this is that if you go into this super lightning seems to be really good book here. But the fireworks doesn't seem to work really good for me. I see it at a very high price, but I would take that out and I will replace that with an additional, let me just go for here for chest here. I would take it with additional chest breaker, because that's going to add together with my tap power that is increased tremendously, and I'm going to increase now even more my tap power against big chest. So my single power is getting even stronger. But at the same time, since this explosion here is also probably seems like to take the damage from my tap power to go out to collateral, this is also gonna increase the damage on multiple of chest as well. So that is helping tremendously. So when we have in this way here, you will see I don't have the fireworks anymore, but you will still see I can do tremendously of damage. There you see exploding here, and it looks almost as the same as I had before. So it looks quite good in this case here. So basically this is the best setup I can have for me when it comes to tap power. So then it goes to pets, and over here you can see it's a little bit hard to see, but my pets do tremendously of damage. So okay, let's talk about this. Oh, let me go get a little bit further away from my pets. They are doing so much noise here doing that. Sorry, I am quite sick at the moment, so that's why I haven't had stream and made so many videos, but I had to make this one here. So when you come to different rooms, okay, you come to the room with only one big huge chest. For the big huge chest, there is two things that's going to be important. Of course, the maximum power, the chest breaker, tap power and tap power is going to be tremendously good for tapping damage. But also that I have tremendously of pets here with strong, and also can get a lot of critical damage to that one huge chest there is very important. So the only book that is kind of a little bit waste when it comes to the room where is one big is the super lightning. So if I had one more chest breaker, one more tap damage, or one more critical, I would do even better in the single chest rooms if I didn't have the super lightning, because that's a waste at that time. When you come down to the rooms where you have 2 to 3 chests, well, this one is helping a little bit. It's not helping tremendously, but it starts to help. It's again been a little bit more difficult for these one here that are single damage here, but they're quite good as well. But the pets of yourself is doing a tremendously important job here. The only thing here is that if your pets is not really speedy, they can go down. So that's why also it could be important to have on your pets, let me see in here, because also another very important thing is your charms. But agility charm is very important. If you have no agility charms in your pets, when you get a room with multiple of chests, your pets will be moving in between in the start and almost do none of damage there. And you really want to have them to help you. So you really need speed in your pets in the beginning, but at the last room and the big chest room, that you don't really need it. But for all the room with many chests, with in the beginning and over there, you need agility. For the later room, you really need strength, and you also really need like Lord charm here and so on. And also critical charm could be interesting to have there. But don't forget the power of the agility charm. When you come to room that is kind of my favorite is the 4 chest room. The 4 chest room is the perfect for everything here. The super lightning is already starting really well. You still tap damage is gonna break those chests like butter, and your pets is gonna also break them. So the 4 chest room is the simplest room for me. It's just kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. The more 4 chest room I get, the better it's gonna go. Then you get the 5 to 7 chest room, or 5 to 7 chest room. They are quite decent, they are a little bit difficult. This super lightning is starting to become really, really important. And these chests here is still quite important. They are quite really important because they are also helping the super lightning, and your pets is depending how good these books is depending of the agility of your pets team. So if you have very low agility on your pets, these are not gonna help you really much in this room here. And when you get to the 8 and 9 chest room, again, super lightning is super important. Again, it's important with tap power and the chest breaker to make this really powerful. And again, it's even worse for critical and pets from these books here if your pets is not fast enough. So for most people that has really weak pets, doesn't have any huge and so on, you should go mostly for tap power. See, try to make almost everything tap power and just let your pets be there for something else. You maybe would like to have even 2 super lightning books there. Could be very good for that. For people with really strong pets, maybe it's actually better to actually go for more pets here and make sure you have really good speed for your pets. I think I've seen people go to room 100, but I think if they really understand this difference here, I think they can go even further. Because I think what stops some people of the strongest player in the game is that they maybe have too much based on the tapping, while they really actually have really strong pets and could use those strong pets to get those extra rooms there from before there. I actually hope this is helping you to select a better combination for the next time, and I hope you can do as good as you can. Enjoy the Clan War Battle War. I think there's gonna come much more in Clan in the future. Have a really nice day. This was #1 Game with Viper Toffee. Like and subscribe, and bye bye.